What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and I honestly have not done a video from my PC in ages, so this will be a bit weird getting back used to it. And today I'm doing a Reddit. Am I the arsehole? You might have heard of it before. You might have even seen other YouTubers do it. Like if you're in the UK, I know George Memulus does it. I think Cam Kirkham does it. Both of those are goats. And I think Smosh do it, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, let's get into it. Right, so we got the first one. Sorry if you can't see some of it. However, I'm going to read it out. So, the AITA means, am I the asshole? So, let's go through it. Am I the asshole for wondering whether my partner might be showing subtle, subtle signs of abuse? So, straight up off the bat, the title is a bit scary almost. Not scary, but a bit bad. Because if you abuse your partner, then you are a melt. Like, you deserve fucking, I don't know, to be beat up yourself and see how you like it. Like, I've never been in a relationship. So, like, what's it called? The relationship ones. I'm going to be, like, fresh, if you know what I mean, because I've never been in a relationship. So, from an outsider's point of view, it might be different from someone who's, in a relationship. You know what I mean? So I, 28F, which means female, live with my partner, 30M. If you know what M, it's male. So yeah. So 28 and 30. So straight off the bat, the male is older, which 2 years at 28 and 30 is like, not a bad age gap. We've been together just over 6 years. Sorry. Also, my camera might be a bit laggy because it's a shit camera and it's a shit PC. So yeah. Also, I am dyslexic, so reading might be a bit challenging. When I try and bring up an issue I have in our relationship, this is usually something to do with the fact that often I do nearly all of the work around the house, despite working as much as him. Right. So all of that, yeah. It is. So normally, women are supposed to do the housework, or like normally they do majority of the housework. Which in some relationships, if the male works, a full hour week, so what is it, 40 hours or even more, then they think, oh, because I'm the main breadwinner, you should be doing majority of the housework, which in a lot of couples' eyes, you'll be thinking, oh yeah, well what's it called? That's fine, that's normal, which a lot of couples are like that. I would say like my parents are like that, but that's because my dad works a lot more than 40 hours, and my mum, she doesn't work as much, but that means she's at home more, which means she's able to do more, you know what I mean? So, however, in this case, the lady has said that she's working just as much as him, so they both might be working full-time jobs, which if it is that case, then it should be done equally. Or, I mean, like, if it was me and I had a girlfriend, yeah, and we're working the same hours, try and split it perfectly. Like, if it's just little things like dishwasher or something, then it's not bad. You know what I mean? Like, if the dishwasher needs doing, don't matter who does it. If it needs doing, then just do it. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, washing, maybe, I don't know, just split it. You know what I mean? But if it's something that can be done there and then, like the dishwasher, then do it. And it gets quite overwhelming. Yeah, fair enough if you do majority of it whilst on top of doing your work. He gets quite angry and defensive. He will tell me to stop talking, accuse me of being unreasonable, and that I likely have OCD. See, you can't blame someone because they're bringing up that they're doing too much in the relationship. You know what I mean? And you can't just say, oh, because you're getting annoyed, that's because it's your OCD. You know what I mean? It's like people saying, oh, I've got ADHD, when they probably don't. They're just self-diagnosing themselves just so they can get away with shit. You know what I mean? But you can't just say, oh, it's because of your OCD. It's not. It's just because you're not pulling your weight. And sometimes we'll physically block the door. That's a bit bad. That's really bad, actually. Etc. So I can't leave the room. What's it? Right, so get this. Imagine, I don't know, you've got washing to do, like washing the clothes. You've come home from work and you both are at home. You both can do the clothes, you know what I mean? But if he's physically blocking the door, that means he's got time to do it himself. So why? Might just be sexism, I'm not gonna lie. Usually when I try and leave the room is just because the argument has got heated and I want to cool off a bit. I think that's fair. Like, you know, sometimes if you are having an argument, it is better to get it off your chest there and then, so then you calm down quicker and resolve the problem quicker. However, a lot of the time it is better if you just walk off, clear your mind, and then later apologise or, you know what, like, just agree to disagree. So, it's a bit mental that he's blocking you off from calming down, because that's just going to fuel the argument more. A few times he has grabbed my wrist or waist quite strongly, enough to hurt, although I know he doesn't mean to. See, the thing is, you just contradicted yourself a bit. So you just said enough to hurt, although I know he doesn't mean to, which he might not mean to, but at the same time, he is physically blocking you, and he is touching you, you know what I mean? Like, it is a bit contradicting. And you're saying, like, showing subtle signs of abuse. Bit fishy, mate. And then his tone of voice when he speaks to me is almost like I'm a badly behaved child. So that's like condescending. Oh, it says it right there. Condescending, and he will tell me to stop talking or accuse me of being unstable. It seems like he is just a right knobhead. Like, if he's like, he's taking the pants in the role, which a lot of people, the male, would, and you know, he's saying that you're being like a child, and it's you likely have OCD and stuff. Like, dude, just pipe it in, man. This has gone on for quite a bit of our six. Yeah, see, the thing is, 6 years, that's quite a lot of time. A lot of people would have already been married in those 6 years. 6 year relationship, and I've tried to bring up the way he reacts, but it just leads to more of the same behaviour. See, some people are just like that. Sorry if I'm speaking too much, but people are actually like that. If you bring up someone's flaws, they will get defensive so easily. I'm probably like that, but at the same time, I do try and reason. You know what I mean? Like, see, I think me being a chef, yeah, it is something you have to learn. You know, if you get criticised for something, you need to change. You know what I mean? Like, at college or work, if I make a dish and someone tries it and they're like, oh, that tastes shit, you think, oh, wonder why it tastes shit. Is it because I've added too much salt, blah, 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 so you need to change it, you know what I mean? So that's in my role, you know what I mean? So that's how I can, you know, that's how I've learned to cope because of my job. Honestly, I come away from these situations feeling terrible and usually being the one to apologise first because he gets in my head, and then I worry I'm the one in the wrong. Oh, that's a bit sad. I'm sorry, love. For context, normally he's really lovely and things are great. See, this is the thing. I know quite a lot of people that, like, personally, I know personally quite a lot of people that do have arguments all the time, but then, you know, behind closed doors, or majority of the time, they are just a nice couple, but they do argue quite a lot, you know what I mean? But I think that is just a normal relationship from someone who's never had a relationship, so I haven't had the experience of arguing with my partner, you know what I mean? Where did I go? But he doesn't, oh, right, but he does not have a father who I have seen at, he does have a father. I'm going to say if he doesn't, then that might be why. But he does have a father who I have seen act in a very similar way to his mother, and I know did to my part. Is that me being stupid or what? I have seen act in a very similar way to his mother, and I know did to my partner when he was younger. I don't know what that means, I'm not going to lie. My partner often says that he doesn't want to end up like that, but can't see that he shares. Oh, I'm like that, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes, if I've shouted at, like, my sister or brother, or, you know, if they've done something to really piss me off, normally I get really pissed off, shout at them, say something I regret, but then as soon as I do it, I think, oh my god, like, I'm like my dad. No offense to my dad, but literally my dad, he can switch like that, you know what I mean? Like, in his anger and frustration. And that's how I don't want to act, you know what I mean? Like, I love my dad to bits. He's a hard-working man. He's the best dad I could ask for, but the way he switches from, you know, nice to being pissed off, it is actually scary. Uh, for wait, we're getting married in a year. Oh, and I just want to know whether this behaviour is something I should be worried about. Is it normal or am I overreacting? It is all my fault, and more importantly, what I could do to make things better. No. Oh, that's so weird because you've already been together for 6 years, and it's like, if you've been together for that long, you know, you have known them for that long, and you're getting married, you just don't want to throw it down the drain, do you? And the thing is, you have, like, mentioned it to him, and he's got even worse. Oh, that's really shit. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I think it is one of those things that over time will get worse, especially when you're married. It will get worse, so I'm not gonna lie. I think you just bin it off. So yeah, sorry, love. Finding it sus that there was a perfume bottle in my husband's suitcase after a work trip. Just off that title, that is very, very weird, bit sketchy. Like, you went on that trip, so who's? I mean, if you, what is it? If it was your perfume, it might have just slipped in there. But if it wasn't one that you recognised, then red flags are, you know, all around. But anyway, 10 years ago, oh shit. So this happened 10 years ago. When was this? 4 days ago. Oh, so 2015. 10 years ago, my husband, 43, male, let's call him Todd, right, Todd, got offered an excellent job opportunity overseas. Ooh. He told me I would be able to work. That his wait. He told me I would be able to work. That his company usually helps the trailing wife find something. I was willing to have a career change in order for Todd to grow in his. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So basically, boyfriend and girlfriend, well, wife and husband, props at that time, I've had a brilliant opportunity for the male to go work overseas and the wife to come along, and they would basically help her find a job. In my eyes, that's a really good deal, you know what I mean? Because the man is getting a better job, which means better pay, probs, and the lady will also get a good job, you know what I mean? Seems like a win-win. After having our child, it was getting hard for me to find a job in the career I had studied for. Of course, I didn't find a job. It is more difficult than what I had imagined. Oh, that's annoying, that, because they promised that they would find you a job. But at the same time, yeah, we don't know what she studied for. If she studied in friggin' drama or something, or bloody music media or something, that's going to be a lot harder to get a job than, I don't know, being a chef. You know what I mean? Because there's more restaurants about than, like, music studios or something like that. You know what I mean? But that's pretty bad, because obviously you've had your kid and the lady can't get a job, and after being promised basically a job. I mean, like, my uncle, he's always worked overseas. So my cousin's uncle and auntie and stuff, they don't live anywhere near us. They live, like, Liverpool way. And we see him a couple times a year, like maybe 4 times a year, maybe less. And basically, normally it's just my uncle who works away, and he might be out there for like 5 or 6 weeks, come home for like 2 3 weeks, whatever. So it's not all year round, but it is. Um, so it is similar to this, but at the same time it isn't. So we moved, and I cannot begin to describe how hard this change was. Change of continent. Oh, so it was continent too. Off language. Oh, see, that's a massive one too. Like, I couldn't imagine going to, I don't know, friggin', fucking, I don't know. Oh my god, why can't I think of a country? To the Netherlands and learn to speak Dutch or something. Todd has many of his friends from work. Yeah, that is true. You've gone only knowing your family, well, your husband and kid, whereas Todd, he's having to work with people, so over time he'll, make friends with them. They'd all been working long distance for a while, and then he started to travel so much that I would see him only on the weekends. That's a bit shit. Sorry, love. When our daughter was 3 years old, I wanted to have another baby, and the doctor told us we had to be more active in the bedroom. I wonder why that is. Is it age? I mean, to be fair, 43 and you've only just had your first kid. That's a bit mental. Yeah, that don't surprise me. You have to be more active. But Todd, I don't know why, but it seems he understood the opposite. We've been less and less active ever since, and every time I bring up the subject, he gets upset. There is always an excuse. See, the thing is, it says he gets upset. It could be a little bit embarrassed or shamed. Not shamed, like, yeah, basically shamed. Because if it's Todd's fault that you need to get more active in the bedroom, then he could feel more shame because it's his fault that, you can't reproduce. Yeah, that's a bit sad. But at the same time, you're only seeing each other for 2 days a week. That's a bit shit. That's well bad. Like, you might speak over the phone, but that's not the same as, in-person contact. This morning, I woke up early and he did too, so I tried to start something interesting between us. He told me he had to get ready to go to work, that we should leave that for tonight. He didn't touch me or give me a long kiss. He gave me a little kiss and got up to go get ready. Oh, that's a bit sad. At least give your wife a nice long kiss. After about an hour, he was still getting ready, so I said something like, "Interesting, you can't play with me, but you're taking your time getting ready." Fair enough. I mean, men don't take long to get ready. Look, quick shower, put your clothes on, literally done within 20 minutes. And he's got super upset, started blaming me for making him be the bad guy. I think he's just blown it out of proportion, I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, he kind of is, maybe. And of course told me he wasn't in the mood anymore for sexy time anytime soon. In his rant, he told me not to even dare accusing him of cheating. Wait, in his rant, he told me not to even dare accusing him of cheating, how I almost accused him once. So she didn't even bring that up. He brought that up. Damn. See, the thing is, the lady has brought this up, posted this on Reddit, so we are only getting one side of the story. You know what I mean? So it is a bit tricky. Yeah, this is a weird one. Because obviously, seeing that the perfume bottle in his husband's suitcase, which, you might be able to work out. Hopefully I've done a blinder here. He's gone away to do work and shit, and the wife has gone through his suitcase, or like, there was just a bottle of perfume sat there that isn't hers, and it isn't a gift or anything, and she's like, hold on, so he don't want to do sexy time with me, but there's a lady's perfume in there. Bit weird. A couple of years ago, when Todd was unpacking his suitcase, there was a woman's perfume, not new, not in a box, even a little open so that all of his clothes around that perfume smelled. I asked about it and he got few. Oh, right, so this was even before this. I asked about it and he got furious. He had no idea what that was doing there, and how would I even doubt one of his core values? Mm, I think he's just blaming you because he's been caught. I told him that it was suspicious. It kind of is. That there was an open perfume bottle mingled with his stuff, but that it was fine. If he didn't know where it came from, it didn't matter. I do think he did cheated, not gonna lie. And I didn't give it more thought, but this morning he brought it up in the context of better not start blaming him of cheating because being faithful and monogamous were part of his core values. He's bringing up these values quite a lot, but it doesn't seem like he's actually got any. I told him I had never accused him of cheating, but that at the same time, he had to admit it was kind of suspicious to find women perfume in his suitcase, and he said it would be suspicious for anyone but him because being faithful was one of his core values. Shut up about these fucking values. This core values was something he repeated a lot. You can tell. Ooh, right. Yeah, it is weird. Because he brought up the women's perfume thing, even though she didn't bring it up, he brought it up first. So that's a bit strange. I mean, just, imagine you and your partner, you go to a different country because your husband or wife, has got a better job there. You think, yeah, cool. And then all of a sudden, you're not having sexy time, which is a bit sad. So, yeah, you're not having sexy time, but, you know, one of you wants a kid, so you kind of need sexy time. And then all of a sudden there's a perfume bottle in your partner's, or perfume or aftershave bottle in your partner's suitcase. That would raise some flags if it wasn't yours. You'd be like, a bit fishy, you know. You don't want to do sexy time, but there's somebody else's perfume or aftershave in there. Yeah, that's not on. Right, anyway, sorry for the rant. Bin him off. But it's annoying because you've got a kid. Yeah, it's weird because, you know, you've gone, you basically helped him. You know what I mean? You've got a kid, which you're basically looking after because he's working 5 days a week and not even coming home. You know what I mean? And you need a job, but you can't get one because there's nothing there. And then, what's it called? You know, it's like you're doing too much for him and not getting anything in return, which is very shit. Right, so I found an interesting one. So, am I the asshole for expecting more of my boyfriend? Right, I am sorry, but my PC just decided to crash. All I could see is a black screen. I don't know if the recording got that or if it just froze or what. I don't know, but anyway, am I the asshole for expecting more of my boyfriend? So, like I was saying, let's say you just work, like, I'm working an 11-hour shift tomorrow. If I had a girlfriend and I came home and she was like, oh, do I get a cheeky Nando's? I'd be like, you know what, I could go for a Nando's. And if she says, oh, but I'm not driving, I would be not annoyed, but I would in a way, because it's like, if she's like had the day off or something, I'd be like, oh, babe, can you please just drive tonight? I don't know why I did an American voice, but anyway, yeah, I'll be like, oh, really can't be arsed driving. So, if it's something little like that, then I'm not gonna lie, I'd be on the other person's side, because it's like, you've just done a long ass shift, you can't be arsed driving, and it wasn't my idea to go to Nando's. You know what I mean? So if it's like little pay stuff like that, then it's a bit shit. So anyway, we had a baby this year. Oh, so there's already a kid involved. She is currently 5 months old. I was on maternity leave for 16 weeks. Is that normal? Is that normal? 16 weeks. How long's that? That's like 3.5 months. And since my boyfriend was at work, I took care of all household duties. See, this links to the other one. It's like, the thing is, I don't know any pregnant people. I think I've met one pregnant person in my life. But anyway, like, you're at home, you might as well just do it. Like, obviously, if it's like, you got a massive bump, if it's reaching down to get stuff, then yeah, that'll be more tricky. But yeah, if he's working, a full-time job, then he could do some after work. It's like me. I'm doing college and work, and I'm literally nearly working a full time. Full time hours. I'm nearly doing like 40 hours a week, which I'm pretty sure I'm doing like nearly 40 hours this week. So it's like, if I'm doing like 50 odd hours a week, well, I'm doing 16 at college and then nearly 40 at work. So what's that? Like 56 hours a week. If I'm doing that many hours, I can't be asked going home and then, doing the dishes, doing the washing, ironing, shit like that. Because, I want to chill. Especially, like, if it's been a hard, long day. But, yeah, it's a tricky one. She's pregnant. You've got to keep that in mind. And since my boyfriend was at work, I took care of all household duties. I don't think you should have done, like, the putting capital too. So that's how she means all of it. But you should do some accessible ones, but just like ironing, you can stand up. I know you probably don't want to stand up. You can even sit down actually. Like ironing, it's not straining your body, is it? Cooking, yeah, that's long. I mean, to be fair, you can just get a microwave meal. Cleaning, he's a very messy person. Oh, I should put that in brackets too. That's a little dig at him. However, if he is messy, you should be cleaning up after yourself. Laundry, taking care of the baby. Wait. Is maternity leave after or before the pregnant? Shit, just then I thought she already had a 5-month-old baby and then she was heavily pregnant with the second baby, but no. Right, so she's already, has she already had the baby then? So I'm a little bit confused on that. Anyway, 100%. I'm also exclusively pumping to feed her, so you cannot even begin. Imagine a bottle parts and pump parts I wash a day. Yeah, no, that is annoying. So I'm guessing she's had the baby for 5 months, so she don't have the massive bump anymore, but she still has to breastfeed it. Well, she says she's got pumps, which is equally just as bad. But that's something a mother should do. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there's no shade if you're buying products from the store or anything. It is 100% up to you. You know what I mean? Like, some people breastfeed and then sometimes they go dry, so then they need to go to the shop and buy some like baby formula. You know what I mean? But honestly, being a full-time mum is a full-time job in itself. It's more than a full-time job. So respect to all the single mums, any mums out there. I went back to work about a month ago. He's working around 70 hours. Oh, fuck me, 70 hours. Right, I'm not going to lie, 70 hours a week. I think you shouldn't be complaining. I'm not going to lie, love. Like, yeah, you might be doing a lot, but he's doing 70 hours. He's basically paying for you and the baby and him. Like, that might be a little bit small-minded off me. Like, you shouldn't be doing everything, but you should be doing majority of the stuff if you are home. Like, yeah, you got a kid. It's so weird because I'm not in this situation. I don't know anyone who has been in this situation. He's very money motivated, but the thing is, he has to be. He's got 3 people to look after. He's got himself, you, and the baby. And, if you want another baby anytime soon, he needs it. He works in a blue-collar field, so I know he is very tired. Exactly. If he's working in a blue-collar field, he will be tired. So I know he's very tired. I work 40 to 50 hours a week. Wait, when you say I work 40 to 50 hours a week, is that work, or is that working around the house? Oh, wait, no, sorry, you said I went back to work. Oof, so she is doing full-time. Oh, that is weird, because he is doing, right, if you are going back to work, it means you are able to start doing chores around the house. You know what I mean? I think you should split it evenly, because you gotta give it to her. She has just given birth, and she is also working, and then after that, also majority looking after the baby. So they should split it evenly, or him doing a little bit more, and take care of the baby the rest of the time because he really not ever here. But at the same time, he is working for the baby and you. If he isn't, then you're not gonna have money for clothes for the baby, food. Because I'm telling you now, I don't know what the actual price is for like baby stuff, but I know it's not cheap. Today I asked him to please start helping me around the house a bit. I do around 6 loads of laundry a week, which I think is about standard. I asked if he could do like one to help. So you just put one in not brackets, capitals. So that does imply it does jack shit. See, the thing is, even if it's like, just putting the laundry in or putting the washing on like, in the dryer or something, that's one thing she doesn't have to do. You know what I mean? Or even just the dishes or hoovering. Like, vacuuming, yeah. It doesn't take a lot of time. Like, I know if you've got a house, then it will take a little bit longer. But the thing is, you can just, like, do different parts, different days. Like, you might be able to do living room, kitchen, and, like, I don't know, hallways and stuff one day. The day after, do the bedrooms. You know what I mean? I asked him to make sure the bottles and pump parts are clean and put away before he leaves for work. Asked him if he cooks. Right, the thing is, I don't know if it's the same in the US as the UK, but I know a lot of like blue collar, which are like tradie jobs. You do finish at like 2 o'clock, in the afternoon, but you are working early in the morning. You know what I mean? So it's like you do have like 2 till, I don't know, 11 o'clock, whatever, to cook, clean, just do random shit, you know what I mean? So you do have a lot of time. Asked him if he cooks for himself before work to maybe clean up the kitchen after so I don't have to when I get home from work. See, it's just little things. Like, see, right, this, yeah, clean up the kitchen after. I think you should just do that anyway. Like, don't, like, I made bangers and mash today and some noodles. As soon as I made the noodles, I cleaned up after myself. You know what I mean? Like, personally, I just can't stand, cooking and then just seeing mess. You know what I mean? I just can't stand it. But that's just me. Not everyone's like that. Maybe walk the dog once in a while. See, even maybe walk the dog. I think if she's... See, having a dog, that's an option. You know what I mean? It's not... You are given the dog and you have to look after it. It's an option to have a dog. So, like, yeah, you probably had the dog before the pregnancy and stuff like that, which fares. But you need to split that equally. You know what I mean? He acted as though I asked him to get a third job. Oh, so he's got like 2 jobs. Fairs. He doesn't really understand that the baby and the household duties are almost like a second and third full-time job, especially since I'm hooked to a breast pump for at least 3 hours a day. It's 3 hours? Fuck me. Right. This is a tricky one because he's working 70 hours. But at the same time, like the lady said, doing household duties, being a mum, on top of your normal job, that is literally 3 jobs all in one. You know what I mean? She's working her ass off. It would just be nice for the husband or boyfriend, whatever, just to help out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure if I had a girlfriend or a wife and she had, we just had a kid and I was working overtime, yeah, I would come home. Yeah, I might be tired, but even just little things like hoovering, that's something else that she don't have to do. You know what I mean? Or washing up or whatever. She don't have to do. But this is just down to the way the boyfriend or husband is just acting. You know what I mean? It might spire from childhood. You know what I mean? Maybe seeing his, dad not helping around the house because he was working all the time. You know what I mean? Like my dad, he works all the time. He's always been a very hard worker as my dad. I'm not gonna lie, I think he's the most hardworking person I know. Like, a lot of people say that about the dad, but like my dad has like 3 jobs. So yeah. Yeah, I think the husband should just help out a little bit more, even if it's just little things. Every little helps, like Tesco says. Right, I'm going to leave that there. I think I've done 3 or 4, I don't know, but I think I've rambled on quite a bit. Hopefully my camera's not been too laggy. Hopefully it's been pretty smooth. Just comment if you have any disagreements or anything, because I just want to wonder what you guys think. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and just comment that you liked it, and say if you want to see more, because you might have had opposing ideas from me. So I'm just interested. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.